Hey everybody! Today I want to talk to my creatives who don't feel like good writers. This one is for those of you who get paralyzed by that blank page, or you're stuck wondering whether you need to take a writing class, or you're wondering whether you need to buy another handbook. Now, there's nothing wrong with classes or handbooks, but there are a few things you need to consider before you hop on that horse again. Okay. So, hey creatives, I'm Dr. Helene. I am your writing life coach, and that means I'm here to help you access your unique voice, overcome your challenges, and create real content that transforms your income potential. Why? Because God gave you a vision and you need to build it. So, let's get you together. Back to what we were talking about. So what if you don't feel like you're a good writer? Should you take a class? Well, that depends on how much time you want to invest. And it also depends on what your goals are. Is your goal to be a writer, or are you wanting to use writing to meet your goals? Those are very different aims. No matter what the answer to those questions might be, let's get you past the burden of the question and on to the brilliance of the writing. All right? So, before we do that, we have to unpack your mindset. I want to offer you a path for a mindset change that's going to help you get to the next level in your writing. And it might just transform a lot of other things too. So, let's see what happens. First of all, we have to think about something. Our relationship to writing is really powerful. Having the confidence to communicate in writing is something we cultivate. So is the destruction of that confidence. So before you generate any content, you have to change your mindset about writing. And that means understanding what you want out of your writing experience. Your relationship to writing and how confident you feel about it is probably dependent on the model that you've been exposed to the most, the one you assign the most value to as well. Most of us took writing classes in school, right? Good or bad, we definitely had some kind of training in grammar and mechanics and spelling and diction and syntax. Now listen, if you remember all of those words, you probably have some scary stories to tell. And if you don't, you probably have some scarier stories to tell too. Oh my goodness. Most of us were taught to write under an industrial revolution model of schooling. That was all about getting a large group of people through a lot of information for the purpose of getting them to a similar level of skill, right? Like this model is about educating workers. Think about public school. The original purpose of public school was to educate workers with enough skill to work jobs for other people's companies. And we wonder why creatives struggle in these contexts. So, what is the number one reason you think you can't write? It's because the kind of writing you need to do wasn't the goal of your training. I know, that's crazy. I mean, what do you mean, Dr. Helene? Okay, listen, I'm not knocking school. I'm a proud student of the public school system. I also teach in the public school system. The model isn't wrong because it did what it was designed to do. You probably are working for someone else. Winning. But that model didn't likely release your voice, your creativity, or bloom your gifts. That takes a different model for learning because those are different goals. So the reason you think you can't write is that you trained under a model that wasn't meant to teach you to be a writer. It was meant to teach you the basics you need to write for someone else's needs and vision. Every stage of our lives, every goal we have is best served through a model that's most responsive to our current patterns and intentions. If you have a bigger goal that involves writing, one that's meant to answer a call on your life, then you need a new model. Time to replace that old model mindset with a new relationship to writing, okay? So here's your creative mind shift. 1, I can write well with the right models and mentors. Ooh, that means that there is a particular kind of mindset that you need to make a real difference in your life. Once you accept that you can write well, then you can seek out the model for learning that works best for you. And if you don't know your best learning styles yet, please go online and take some learning style quizzes. You're going to get insight that will help you determine exactly how you can approach your writing practices. Find that kind of support, the kind that matches your learning style, and I promise that you will bloom as a writer. Okay, second thing you need to do, if you want to fix this mindset and start writing well, you need to find the right mentors that provide examples that you can use as guides for your writing. Most folks are looking at handbooks trying to use those as mentors when creatives usually need something more interesting than that. We need writing mentors. But how do you find those writing mentors? And what do I mean by that? So writing mentors are the texts that magnetize you. There's something about how they do what they do that you like. And one mentor text might do something you love in one particular way, but another one might do another thing you love in another way. You've got to deliberately seek out those texts and look at what they're doing in their writing that inspires you. And just like you would do with a person, you take that text and its inspiration and you practice using those tools. And then you put your style on it. Listen, if you've got a project you know needs a jump start, or you have a vision that you know needs to get built, but you've been procrastinating, or you want help writing your path forward into monetizing those gifts, especially if you want to do it on a solid foundation that's sustainable for the long term, just comment below that you want to schedule a complimentary consultation with me or DM me, and we will get you set up for a time for us to talk. And if you want more quick tips like this to get your mindset together and to shift your writing life, you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. I'm at Dr. Helene Writes, DrHelenewrites, at Dr. Helene Writes. I'll see you there.